I just wanted to come on here and give my condolences to Regina King and her family in regards to her loss to her of her son. Um, she seemed like a real loving mother, real attentive. His father, Ian Senior, I think he's like an executive working in the music industry. He did some other stuff in entertainment. I'm not sure what the relationship was as far as that's concerned. Hopefully, it was attentive, but I think that with when you suffer from depression or things like that, a lot of it is internal. Like it doesn't really matter if you have supportive people. Sometimes it's just you're really, really down, and you need uh, you need to express that to people when you're off having an off day. But I really I felt so bad for Regina. I was so happy to see her because Regina is my era. I remember her from 227 with Marla Gibbs and just starting out as a kid, and she really blossomed. She's been doing big things with movies and shows and straight to Netflix, straight to Amazon Prime, um, and just really good projects. And she always mentioned how she wanted to be a good source of role model for her son. I guess that's if you want to call it that. Or she wanted to put images uh, that he could see because this new generation, young black people, a lot of them don't really know much about their history. So she's done, um, I think, one night in Miami. She said that one, I think she almost dedicated that one to her son. And then her son gave a really um, heartfelt happy birthday last year where it seemed as if their relationship was really, really good. I don't know if he's just having like a really downtime. It's really hard to be cooped up like we've been for people if you're a person that's really used to being out and about. Um, it has the pandemic has put people's life on hold, projects, dreams, and things that they wanted to do. It's like a lot of us had to freeze it and put it on hold, and it's hard being cooped up. I don't really know what was going on with him, but I just really want to give my um, condolences to her. She seems like a really cool person, um, a loving mother. Like I believe if love could have kept him alive, he'd still be alive. So I just want to tell anybody out there that's suffering from any kind of depression, or if you're having a down day, you're feeling like you don't want to go on, please call somebody because I promise you somebody cares. Um, and when I say prosper and be in good health, the good health I'm talking about is spiritual health, mental health, and physical health. Mental health, especially in these days and times. Um, the world is like topsy turvy. Um, it's a different kind of struggle than maybe what elders went through during the Depression or what people who were baby boomers in the 60s. It's a different kind of uh, world that we just don't know what's going on. Everything is just like really crazy out here. So please seek help, call somebody that you know you can confide in. I'm sure that there are people that would have been there for him. And I just want you to know that if you ever feel like that, just call somebody, you know, call somebody positive, upbeat that can bring you out of that. And I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, but pray. You know, we all get to the point where we just get tired and we don't want to stay in this world. But uh, self harm is selfish. You know, you've got people that love you. You know, everybody has, even orphans have somebody that care. Somebody cares. If nobody cares, God cares. So um, I want to say rest in peace to Ian Alexander Jr. And my sincerest, deepest condolences, love, and light to Regina King. I know this is horribly devastating to her because they seemed like they were just so close. She was always at premieres and red carpets with him, trying to include him. I think he was a chef by trade, and he did other things too behind the scenes at her productions. Um, but it's never that bad. And I sincerely hope that you prosper and be in good health. Rest in peace to Ian Alexander. Condolences to the father's family, Ian Alexander Sr., and Regina King's family. Oh, hey, Sheet. I didn't know y'all was in here. I was I was about to end. I thought I was by myself. Um, yeah, it is. It is. She stole my thunder. Thank you for coming. And hi, Lashes. Yeah, yeah. I just this. I was like, I woke up to this news, and I was just like, so I was so devastated because I was like so happy to see she had so many. Hey, Sheila E. I got to get with you because we got to talk. We got to do a show. Trash can. Hey, my boy, with them hair waves. Yeah, man. Listen, I'd like to know what can we do with this mental health issues, um, with our men, and what when they can't, they feel as if, I don't know, I don't know if I should share. And let me see if I can share the broadcast so somebody can come up here and talk with me. Let me see, where's the link? Invite. So I'm sharing the link if somebody wants to come up and chat about this. This mental health thing is like a big deal. Um, when I was coming up, I don't think I heard so much about people ending their lives like they do now. Um, and I knew some people who had it really, really rough. But um, yeah, she stole my thunder. I'm trying to get better. I was supposed to upload more, but when you're a caregiver for a parent, it's kind of busy, busy, busy. It's like having a kid, but a kid with adult responsibilities. So, um, but anyway, I was really sad to hear that that happened. And if nobody's gonna come up and talk to me, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. Um, because y'all don't. It's kind of boring just to hear me talk. It's better when there's a conversation. I do need to invite more people to be a part of my stream so that it could be a little bit more conversation. Oh, Miss Sheila, thank you, Miss Sheila.
How you doing?
Hi, beloved. How are you?
I'm fine. Hello to the chat. Um,
So, go ahead.
it's a when we started upstate New York, we started really being aware of it in the school system with the youth when starting with a lot of divorce, single parenting and stuff like that. So what we
Hmm.
did, we came up with a a program to start having counsel in school with the kids.
Oh, that
And
sounds great.
yeah, started in the board education And
Mhm.
then also they work with the parent so they could go outside um the school district and get professional help, psychiatrist therapy like that. Because we was having a lot of young people committing, you know,
Ending their
suicide at young
lives.
age and
Yeah.
dealing with depression and mental illness and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Hmm.
I try to go over our era to see what is different now. It's pretty rough though, because um I didn't know of people that were homeless. Like, you always in the South, you always had somewhere to go. People would take
Hmm.
whole families in, but there were people like living in their cars, their children go to school and they don't have a way to wash their clothes, they're being teased. The bullies nowadays are brutal, you know. And it is a lot. It is a lot. So, but yeah, that I was really, and this kid, growing up in privilege with Regina King, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
and stuff. His struggle was a different struggle, but still, they struggling, mentally.
And then with their situation, they just want to live a simple life, you know, because
Hmm.
they're more present than we are. They can't just have that regular life. They have to be sheltered and But when it
Yeah.
comes to us, that we should be able to see signs at it. If you really, really pay attention to your child, you will see signs, red flags.
Yeah.
And sometimes we
You're right.
try to justify it and ignore it. But it really, when you really in tune with your child, really know your child and talk to them and stuff like that, you could tell by their behavior. And it really started at a young age. And as they don't get no help and then they get worse, you know, because legally they can't be diagnosed until they're 18 by
Oh.
law. Yeah, because
Mhm.
that's my major psychology. So I always was in the mental health field. I'm a retired
Okay.
case manager for schizophrenia, bipolar, and that for the state of New York. So when you deal with, I used to deal with trouble you too. So they will have the behavior and the symptoms, but we can't diagnose them. We could treat it, but you can't really diagnose them until they're
Mhm.
18. Yeah. So we would have after school programs because that's why I ran for board education too, because I was seeing a lot of homeless young people and their mother putting them out and stuff like that. And they went into depression. They went into different things. So we started with the school system. We started with after school programs and just a 24-hour crisis line. They need somebody to talk to, you know. So mental health issue is a lot, and we in our community have not looked at it, really pay attention to it. And I'm be honest, about a decade ago, to really see how serious it was.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because you look at the black community, we never go to a psychiatrist, we never go to a therapist, something like that, because they would label you as being crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
you're
something
right.
that really this something really, really need to be addressed. And it's so funny that you bring this up. Cause me and my uncle was talking about this, and I told him I would love to have a one-on-one of him on my panel about black males because the system designed for the black males, even when it comes to education, because at sixth grade, how can you tell if a black male gonna be in prison? And then they put them, if you look at the statistics, it's a lot of black males in special education than females.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was just talking to Successful Children. That's another YouTube channel, real good channel. She does videos about different issues with children. I think she's a an attorney and a psychologist. But I was telling her about the crisis with black boys, and we can no longer ignore it. We can't no longer.
No,
That's why I don't participate in this old gender war mess. Listen,
me neither.
we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. So, and we can't no longer allow for the system to cut our boys down because it affects our families. So, um, I don't know. I want to try to be of some help to people in regards to that. I don't have That's not my profession, but when I opened up my storefront, I did want to have um, group meetings, group meetings for men, group meetings for women, group meetings for alcoholics, group meetings for addicts. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it seems like it helps somehow to be able to talk to people.
And what you need to do too is in your area where you live at, um, is you active when it comes to the city council meeting and your Congress and senators? Did you have a relationship with them?
Well, here's the thing. I was very active politically in the community in Baton Rouge. Now I'm in LA, Los Angeles. So
Mhm.
um, I haven't been maneuvering around. It's a little harder in a big city, but we do participate now. I just uh, hooked up with a lady who has some really good connections with some
Mhm.
really big names that can get some attention.
Okay.
So go ahead.
No, I was saying what you could do is you could use this for example, because I'm telling you, this is the year, and I know a lot of people get on me on the YouTube streets of about black males, but we're going to be honest here. We have more programs for females than we do males, and
Yes,
this
I
is the
agree.
time. And this is the time for us to really focus on, and I'm really sincere about this because I have a grandson and he just turned 5. And I've been doing this for decades concerning but this is the time I'm seeing now that they're having a lot of immigrants and stuff coming here.
Mm-hmm.
We really, really had to focus on our black males. Don't let them get caught up in the system, because the end of the day is when they had dealing with mental illness, and then what they're going to do is they're going to set them, put them, medicate them, and then can't deal with it, and then put them in prison, which is not going to get help in prison or a facility or in a psych ward. And some of them
Right.
just acting up because maybe they're going through crisis or whatever. So they have to tell the difference between mental ill than someone seeking attention or crying out for help,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
you
agree.
know?
I agree. And I
Mhm,
was on another panel with Omar Wali, and I see that the younger women are like, oh, they're quick to call somebody my generation, oh, you male identify, you're a mammy. And I say, no. I said, the family consists of the father too. The father is a
mhm,
male. Okay. I want my
mhm,
nieces and stuff to have husbands to choose from that are, psychologically stable, and
mhm,
prepared for this world. Like other groups, they groom their sons to be
mhm.
prepared for this world. We have to do that. We have to.
Right.
Okay, it's all well and good, black girl magic. That's all wonderful, but we God didn't design us to be alone, and I don't want the next generation of males to be uh, enraged and burning the village down, like that African proverb say, the unloved child
Mhm,
that comes back to the village and burn it down to feel the warmth. I don't know what it says, but anyway, I want stable, stable men, and I want to do my part. I can't, wave a wand and do it all, but I do want to do my part to at least be of some use. You know what I mean?
mhm. And
Or do some
see,
good.
and I don't want to sound negative, but we as women cannot lead males. That's when the males step up to the plate. that you could organize it and get it started, everything like that. We need our males to raise our males because that's all we the only race. And it's so funny. Me and my uncle was talking about this. We the only race out of order. Simple, because the male is not the head.
I agree. It's not our job. But what do you do
It
when
is.
you're a single parent though? She listen. My mom is a
Mhm,
resource parent. Used to be called
mhm,
foster parent, right? She's got two
mhm,
boys. One of them is older, just about ready to age out. I've been telling him, gently pushing him to understand that we're not being mean when we tell you to save money, when we
mhm.
teach you how to clean up, because you'll soon be on your own. Um, okay, you've got this internship here at a city job. This is what your life could look like if you do this. You know what I mean? Would
Yes.
I love it if there was a male to say, "Hey man, let me take you over here and show you this over here." That's fantastic. But the problem is that for the last few generations we've been just female led households, and he's listening to me. He's putting it together. It makes sense to him what I'm saying to him, because I say, listen,
That's
you'll soon be
nice.
the head of a household, and you have to be able to provide, or else you have a lot of problems when you can't provide and when you're not prepared to do. You know what I'm saying? Your children are in
Mhm,
poverty. Your life is hard. You start with the domestic stuff, and so I absolutely agree. I'm
mhm,
pro men leading men, but we got to
mhm.
start somewhere. You know.
And it start. That's why I always say charity start at home. A uncle,
Mhm.
a brother, a cousin, somebody that we have to be honest too, that we got to watch out for our little boys too, because they get, then so we have to really watch out for them too, that protect them
Mhm.
to what, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to say it on your panel. So
Yeah,
that we
you can
could
speak
trust
freely on
them.
this panel, because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll blow up, but I do want honesty here.
No,
I
I
do
was
want
saying
honesty.
that they won't be touched or nothing like that, you
Oh yeah.
know.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's why with my grandson, we be very, we teaching them and stuff like that. So we had to, we know they had programs for, men's mentoring them and pastors and stuff like that. If the father is not in home, someone you could trust, you
Mhm.
know, is that father figure that then they could look up to him and teach him, and you know different things, be on the basketball team, teach an engineer, or how to do cars and stuff like that, things that young boys do, cut grass, or
Mhm.
building and stuff like that. So just back the basic, bringing back the basic, and stop. We as women really have to say that we do need a man figure over us, because that's why when God do things in decent order, and when it's not in decent order, it's messed up. You can't build
Yeah.
on a foundation if it's not secure,
Mhm.
you know? We
Yeah.
had to start building on a foundation, right? You can't just build a house and the foundation not right, it's gonna fall. So the end of the day is we wonder why our race the way it is, because we don't have that male figure in the house. Because we
Mhm.
wasn't designed to raise a male.
No, we wasn't. Not at all. Not at all. I had to fight with him a little bit. This young
Mm-hmm.
kid that my mom has, I had to fight with him a little bit. But when I gave him the reasons why we were doing what we were doing, it's not being mean, and
Mm-hmm.
you can break this cycle. You can be a
Mm-hmm.
strong lead for your family and just decide that you don't want to live like that. You don't want to make those mistakes that your people made, and you ended up here in this. You can stop it. You
Mm-hmm.
actually can stop it and change the trajectory. of your life. You know, unfortunately, I'm a woman, and I'm the only person that have to show you, because there's nobody to show you. And I don't want you out on the street, because now I told him, I say, a lot of these young people, a lot of these people you see 30, 40 years old, a lot of them aged out of the foster care system, and they got put right out on the street. Now, you are lucky that they have homes and places to place y'all. But a lot of these
Mhm.
folk you see homeless and out here talking to themselves, they was normal people at one point. Homelessness will drive you over the edge. Okay. So that's why when I tell them, hey, listen, do you need me to take you to make you an account, a bank account, so you can stack, and let's sit down and look at some programs you might want to do. Because 16 and be 17 next month, that time rolls by fast.
Mhm.
And I want you to be prepared, and I want you to be successful. You know, so, but yeah, it's hard. I'm very wholeheartedly into the man being the leader and the provider for his children,
Mhm.
especially boys, you know.
I
So
like what you doing. Like you said, look online and see where your area where they have, because when you have programs like that, it's always in competition. What make your program stand out for any other program? So you're gonna look and see what kind of if you want to do it the grant way or you want to come out your pocket or whatever. Because a lot of people don't even like dealing with the government when it comes to funding and stuff like that. But the end of the day is you really, really want to put that in place when it comes to mental health for our young
mm,
black youth. Because believe me, that boy has signs at a young age, and his mother seen it.
yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
know.
that's probably why she was taking him everywhere with her, to try to encourage him.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I guess maybe that's because he would be with her all the time, and that's why I'm so
Mhm.
surprised that they were so
She's a
close.
good mom. Good
Yeah,
mom.
she was
Yeah.
always praising him and never belittling him, and always trying to
Mm-mm.
make opportunities for him and stuff. But sometimes, I don't know, it's just maybe he was just spiritually depressed and, needed some guidance. I don't know. But I really wish that they would talk to somebody before they do that. You know what I mean? It's always somebody that you can reach out and talk to, you know.
But you know what? And some of them they can't. It be. Let me tell you something. We had a young one, and he was like, I think, 32, and he would just sit in a room in the dark and stuff. And we would, try to have him talk to us or go to a psychiatrist or, 'cause, we had to adjust his medication, stuff like that. When their mind like that, they be is so deep depression that they don't want to wash, they don't want to come out their room, they don't want to do nothing. And then when they do be with you, is they're there physically, but mentally they're not.
Mm,
They
mm-hmm,
laugh and talk, whatever. Their mind be somewhere else.
mm,
And you think they're with you, they're laughing, talk with you, but really their mind be somewhere else. And it's really scary. So when you talk
yeah.
about mental health, it's a lot. I mean, I have not looked at it different until I got in that field. I deal with the MR, but when it came to the mental, I said, wow. So that's why a lot of them act the way they do and do. I didn't know, like, really until I got in that field. And I was like, mental health, that's something we really, really had to address in the community, in the inner city, and we have really touched on that a lot. And you would be surprised when you talk about the youth. It was more youth than older people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's starting at the age of 9.
Mm, mm, yeah.
9 to 18 was the
Mm-hmm.
biggest gap. 9 to 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 to
Mm-hmm.
18. Yeah. So I'm glad you stepping on this. If you can, just please do that because it's definitely needed. And yes, yes. And
Yeah,
then with
there's
this,
probably lots of money here, because the homeless situation we have. I think they say the homeless is up 50%. And I've seen, says, look, if I take you around LA, it's apartment buildings and low income housing going up everywhere, because they couldn't, you can't run a city with that many homeless people. People are killing people. They are getting very dangerous. Like
And
this
I
young
heard
lady in
about
Beverly
that
Hills that
Maxine Water.
got killed. Hmm?
Yeah, I heard about Maxine Water where she living at her mansion. Then you go around a couple of blocks that got people sleeping on the corner, stuff like that. And it's sad because there's no need for nobody be sleeping out in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, they got all them folks because the last time I got, let's see, I was here. I visited maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, I think. And
Hmm.
when you get out, when you're going down Century Boulevard from the LAX airport, it was tense all the way down. They've moved all those people out. Got caseworkers, and every nook and cranny, every little piece of a parking lot, they putting up an apartment building. So there's
Hmm.
one I looked at right here in Compton, close to me. I'm like right on the border, LA and Compton, and they put one up, and I see some commercial space at the bottom. So I may check and see if there is it because they got funds. They got funds because they can't. You can't run a city like this with a bunch of homeless people. Are not your businesses are going to take off. They're going to leave. They're going to go
Hmm.
where it's more stable and where people can afford to uh, pay, and they not losing their place to stay, and children out on children filling up the foster care system. They're going to have to. They can't have that in the city. You can't run your city like that. So
And the
yeah,
value of the
so
house is going down. No business
mhm,
want to come in town, so revenue gonna, and it's
mhm,
everything. They have to watch
right,
the zone in different areas, and I mean, it's sad that, yeah, mental health is really. I knew that was gonna really be a big problem though,
mhm,
and a lot of people don't address it and they look over it and think, oh, they'd be all right, they'd be fine, ain't nothing wrong with them. They, just give them a little tap or whatever. No,
no,
they
mm-mm.
need
We can't
professional
ignore
help.
it anymore. Mhm.
Mm-mm.
We can't ignore it anymore. The femicide rate is up. The lady at the Beverly Hills at that furniture store, they caught the man that stabbed her. And
Mm-mm.
yeah, young lady. Yep, they caught him. Mhm.
How long ago this was?
I think this was last week. He was a homeless man, and they kept putting them in, sending them jails, sending them back out because they're so full in the jails. And then there's a 72-hour hold, but what's that gonna do? You know.
But that's when they had the
So
mental the psych wars too. And see, that's the thing too. In New York City, they had people on the subways just stabbing people.
and pushing people over the in front of the train. I
Yes.
saw that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And that's why I'm like, ooh, I said I would never ever take public transportation. Like, I can't see how people
Hmm.
do it because you talking about somebody, you isolated on a bus or a train, they just want to start. I mean, and this need to be addressed because they sit and talk to them. They put them in a site where they don't go back
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. 72 hours they send them back out, and then there are cases where people have been attacked, they've been beat and stuff like that. They go to jail and come right back out.
Hmm.
So they're gonna have to. You can't run your society is gonna decline if you if you don't fix this issue. And
And another
your
thing.
taxpaying people gonna leave. You know.
That's right. And another thing is, every time they get in trouble, they always want to throw the mental health issue. You notice that?
Mhm. Mhm.
But when we do it, it don't apply to us.
Right. Right. Well, this
And
guy,
see,
you
that's
can you can
another
tell
that's
that he
another
must
thing
have
we
had
can
like
address.
10 mug shots. The one who stabbed that young woman in the furniture store. I don't know why she was out there working at night with no security guard because they've been smashing and grabbing in Beverly Hills. But he had about 10 mug shots. I think from 2006 to now. So that means they've been taking them, putting them in, taking them out, putting them in, taking them out, putting them in, and
He was
until his
Caucasian,
crime escalated. No, he was black. He was black. The lady was
young.
Caucasian. Hmm.
He was
Yeah, he
he
was.
was he was
Yeah.
young.
Hmm.
Oh
Yep.
God, wow.
Well, I don't know if he's about maybe about 30, but he looked like he had been on the
That's
streets for a
young.
long time. That is young. Mhm. Yeah. But not young young like what we think. But yeah, he's been on the streets for a while, and like he could be one of those people I'm talking about that um were just aged out of the foster care and went had to go homeless.
And
And like I said,
that should be addressed too, because the simple fact he haven't got the care he's supposed to get. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So
mhm.
that's not fair for him, and that's not fair for her family.
Yep. And his mental status just declined like a lot of them on the street. His mental status just declined. They kept putting him out of jail. He come back into jail,
Mm.
putting him out of. I mean, like about 10 good mug shots.
And
Yep.
jail is not good. And come on, and that's what me and
Mm,
my uncle was talking about. That's you know,
yeah, he
I'm gonna
just
have.
escalated. That's the first time he had killed somebody, but he just escalated to where well, that's the first time that they know of because that was on camera. But something has to be done. They can no longer sweep it under the rug and kick the can down the road. You know, so
And if that was in your area, you need to address that too.
yeah.
Because that's not
Mm,
fair for people that have mental ill and they're not getting treated the way they're supposed to. And then when they go out to society, they don't even know how to react, you know?
right. Then it puts other citizens in danger. Yeah.
Yeah. Because anytime you're in danger and yourself and others, they ain't supposed to have around people. They're supposed to have you evaluated, isolated from everybody
Mhm. Yep.
in 24 hours here and make sure somebody checking on you. Yeah. So you won't
Mhm.
harm yourself or others. So the system also, um, his family also hold the state accountable for that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so we
Yep. They
never
sure
look at it
can.
like that. We look at the
Mhm.
victim, but let's look at him too, because you can hold the state accountable for that. I don't know why they keep on putting our black males in jail when they have mental ill issues.
Yeah, they
You
don't
know?
have nobody to advocate for them.
Mm-mm,
They don't have
mm-mm.
nobody to advocate for them from the time sometimes when they're children. There's nobody there to take care of them basically on a basic level. That's why a lot of them fall into mental illness.
At a young age in school system. I'm telling you, did be putting no kids on medication at 7 and 8 years old.
Mhm.
That's what made me ran for board education.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, I was like, a mother was telling me, and she said he be so high on medication. They was giving her child medication. She didn't even know about it until a week later.
Oh
So
no.
she just thought
Mm-mm.
he was tired with. I said, wait a minute. She was signing papers for them to treat him for anything they want. She was thinking just for extra schoolwork or stuff like that. I told them whenever they give you documentation papers, always read them. What you did, you signed over
Her rights.
your rights, saying because
Mhm.
in New York, the doctors, the nurses could treat your kids, and also they could have a relationship with your doctor, the child doctor, and they have a relationship and they do stuff being the mother's signature to be all right. And she did, I mean, and that's a no. I said, let me run for board education because this is ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I found it was so much when it came to mental health. I was like, wow. And it was
Yeah.
more young black males. And half of
Mhm.
these kids shouldn't be on medication. Kind of find out they was learning different than the Caucasian and then the Latinos and stuff. Because our kids is active.
Mhm. Mhm.
They learn different. They're smart. They're intelligent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, with the status, the way our families run, we don't have the time to put into that we need to make them flourish a lot of times. You know what I mean? Um,
And I know what you're saying, and that's why I tell people, and I'll be honest, if you can't afford your kids, if it ain't two parents in the household, don't have no child, please. Do not bring your child into poverty. You know how much it costs for a child?
yeah, that's why I don't
And
have
I
any.
break this down to my daughters and stuff. My
Mhm.
daughter was 28 years old when she had my and my youngest one, she be 25. She said she don't want no kids. Cause I had to really tell them, break it down to them. Raising a child is expensive. The responsibility you talking about you, even though it's two parents in the household, I mean it's still a lot. Okay, you married, you gotta take care of your husband, the child, the household, I mean everything, schooling, private school, because majority of the kids in public school is not really getting the education they're supposed to get if their mother's not teaching them at home, because we are our child first teacher.
Right. Right.
So when they go to school, they should know everything, and just the teacher just telling them different things, and they should know, or whatever they don't know, then they correct them. But we should be their first teachers, because
Mhm.
they got like 20, 25 students. And if your child don't know, they don't really can't give them that one-on-one.
Yep. And now the system. Well, we had do we have homework help and stuff like that, but now there's so much fighting in the classroom. I feel sorry for the children who really want to learn and really, and then they feel bullied when they're, they smart and they answer a lot of questions. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard. It's really hard. You know, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
difficult.
But I'm a drop off, because child, this is a big old when it comes,
Yeah.
and it start with us, the parents. It start with the
Well,
parent.
maybe we need to do a series on this since this is your expertise is mental health and you worked in this. Maybe we need to do a series on this to bring this to the community solutions, or I come to your platform or whatever. But I need to do more videos. But
Yeah,
this is
I
something
could come to your platform.
yeah, this is something that I we can no longer ignore. It's like getting bad. Like I'm hearing
Mhm.
about Facebook friends are telling me that so and so, they uncle, they brother, so and so, then ended their life, and it's like, bruh, this we can no longer kick the can down the road on this. We got to jump on this. And I'm Generation X. I can't like a lot of people try to blame us, but I say,
No,
well, I
they
first of all,
can't blame us. Mm-mm.
I say
Cause it
first
was
of all, I ain't
before us
have kids.
too.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't have kids, first of all, so you can't look at me. I help more children than a lot of folk who have children.
Mhm.
And secondly, I think I was like maybe 8 years old when crack hit. So when the drugs hit our community real bad. So this is not
No,
us.
we wasn't eight. We had to
Yeah,
be
because I was.
when remember it was free base. We was like around 17. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know
but
how
see,
old you
freebase
is.
was.
I'm 54.
Yeah, no, no. I'm 40. I'll be 49 next month, God
Oh,
willing.
okay, no. Okay,
But
with
yeah,
me, because
no.
I remember
Remember,
it was free
Louisiana
base.
is slow. You in New York.
Oh,
Louisiana is slow.
okay,
So it can't.
okay,
And
okay.
then my mom moved us out of there to Los Angeles. Now it was already here, but the thing about it was that and then too, freebase is that's a rich man. See, Louisiana's kind of poor. You have your spots of rich people, but you know, so it's like when crack hit, oh, we can afford crack. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that. But
Okay.
unfortunately,
Because it
yeah.
started off with free base, and then what they did was free base, yeah. And then with free base, and then with crack, it was all in the same area. But then don't forget the heroin too in the 80s, and that's when it was came with the there was a lot going on with the A's and all that and stuff. So it was a lot going on in the 80s.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
started
I
in
was
the
a kid in
70s
the
with the
80s.
big drugs. but it
Mhm.
really hit, start killing our community in the 80s, early
Mhm.
80s.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. See, I was born in '73, so I was a kid. I was about
Oh,
seven,
you
8 years
know.
old.
Okay, you my
Yeah. So
brother
I
age,
remember.
so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Hmm.
remember. I was. Yeah. Mhm. And my uncle
Yeah,
came
you was
back
young.
from Vietnam. He was. I think he was on heroin because they were.
Yeah,
They were doing stuff over there to them soldiers. Vietnam wasn't no joke. You was left for dead in Vietnam.
I
So,
heard,
it,
I heard.
yeah, Vietnam was, and then they came back and they acted real ugly with him. And I say, I don't care who you are. You don't act ugly with no soldier because none of these soldiers are the ones who are declaring war. So what are you doing? You know,
I want to
they didn't.
interview
My
my
uncle didn't
uncle.
declare war. Mhm.
Hmm. He was shoot, he was a captain. He did like 40 something years.
Oh wow,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, he did 40 something years. First he went in the army, then he did 20 years of army, then he went back and then he did the navy and retired. So he 80 something now. And that's all he know. And he taught a lot of soldier stuff. And then when I was talking to tonight, he was in there for 5 years. And he was
Mhm.
telling me a lot of stuff because I want to ask him about the black males. And when he was growing up, when my grandmother and grandfather raised him, and he was telling me a lot of stuff, and nothing changed. But they was
Mhm.
educated, and see, like he
Mhm.
was saying back then, because they was born in the Bronx. Back then, they would get the smart kids
Mhm.
and make sure that they make, so it was him. And I said to him, I'm gonna be honest. In your school, what was statistics? He said, well, we was in the Bronx, so they was like middle class. He said, so in his class, it was just him and a Caucasian boy. And then what they would do is they would see which one was the smartest.
Mhm.
So my uncle would always beat him in everything. And what his parent would have him do study, 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 study all the time, study all the time. So he used to ask my because they was like 7 to 8. And he was like, so how you be so smart? My uncle ain't never had a study. That was just his gift.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So and it made sure like ask them, talk to my grandmother, um, what school they should go to and college and major and stuff like that. And I said now they don't even do that now. They do that for people who in sports. But when it come to like educated, um top of their class stuff, they don't do that. They're
Mhm.
looking for sports now. So back then in the 50s, they was looking for the smart kids because they wanted them to
Mhm.
be the the engineers, the doctors, the lawyers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why you had like, yeah, your uncle, if he's in his 80s, he would be. Would that be
No,
World War?
not
No, that.
not that. The one I was talking to, he in his 70s. So I'm gonna interview him
Okay.
too, and eh, I
Mhm.
mean, real educated. I mean, real smart. All my uncles are real smart, and I
Mhm.
said I really want to talk to them because he was saying, "Sure, ain't nothing changed." I said, "So what make you different? Why you didn't get caught up? Why none of y'all? Because all my uncles, they all educated. Why y'all never got caught up?" And he said, "Because." We wasn't raised in that area. That when we was raised at, it was like education and and our mother made sure that we had something to do with reading our books and stuff like that. So she was on them about the education.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, that's true because that era, I think that's true everywhere. Because even like the little country people, they had 13
Mm-hmm.
kids. They couldn't read, but you would see all their kids go to college, and get good jobs, or if they start their own business or whatever. But that was like that era. You know what I mean? Like they worked so hard. Those old people, they worked so hard. They bought lands, they bought
Mm-hmm.
houses, and they could, like I
Mm-hmm.
say, they could barely read and write. But then the fathers was in the home too. That's another thing. The
Yeah,
fathers
but
was in
my
the home.
grandfather was, and he was always working all the time. And then my grandmother, she had her own cleaning business, so and she would make sure she get home early, make sure she cooked, and the boys. And you know what? What they wore every day to school, they wore shoes, tie, shirt, and dress pants and suits.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, my uncle and them do not wear jeans or sneakers and stuff. They still
Yeah,
dress
because
like
you
that.
look. I sometimes collect because I love old photographs, and I look at those
Hmm.
old photos, and I look at how and people from that era because I was able to meet people. A lot of them died off, but people depression and before, like in the 30s and 40s, and they,
Hmm.
they leave their house. I don't care if they had 2 pennies in their pocket, they leave their house and they had to look presentable. They
Hmm.
had to look presentable. Yep. Mhm.
So we're gonna
Yep.
talk about that also. Yeah, I would love for
Okay.
yeah, cause I don't know how long we've been here for. I'm getting tired. But
Oh,
yeah. So and I seen you, I'm like, oh, she on and I appreciate you. And yeah,
yeah.
start and I know you got a lot going on because I'm dealing with death in my family. So
Oh, are you? Sorry.
yeah, the one I was talking to tonight, his son, his baby son passed away. He was my cousin was 38.
Oh,
And yeah,
wow.
he just did just bury his sister 2 years ago. She was 40, and it was still, and so I was like, okay. So I had just got on here just to, when I got off
Mhm.
the phone, and I had seen you had went live, and I was over Dovey them over her channel. So I said, let me stay off of YouTube for a little while and just,
Yeah, well, I
mm,
appreciate you stopping by because I just wanted to say that little something to about her, this situation, and I need to upload. I'm gonna try to put more time in, um, but
that's what I have to
I think
do.
I need to make some friends and have people because it's better when there's a conversation, not me just with the commentary. My commentary is not very
Hmm.
much, and my videos would be short. But anyway, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. And trying to get somebody in your area who in that field and would like to bring a lot of outsiders. That's what I start doing because I had interviewed my cousin. She a lawyer and she
Hmm.
only 36 and she have her own law firm. So I'm gonna go back with my mayor and different ones from outside. I'm just gonna bring them on my piano and stuff. And then I know a couple of people and I have one. She used to be a city council in mental health, and that's what she do. She have her own office, and I could hook her up with you, and y'all could
Okay.
really, do some things too. You
Okay.
know.
Awesome. Hmm. I
All
appreciate
right.
that. Yeah, 'cause I just
Okay.
need I need to build my platform up so that people could because
Mhm.
people a lot of times if somebody's so small like me, they don't want to be bothered, and that's why I was just like I gotta.
No, no, and you real, you know what you talking about. You good. No, just start. It ain't they don't want to be bothered. You got to start networking, and I'm finding
Hmm.
out to be careful. You be bothered on the YouTube street. Just start networking and be consistent with your channel. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, something, it ain't about the numbers. I don't care if you have a one or two people in the chat. You talk to them like it's and just be careful who you have on your panel because I had to
Yeah.
learn.
You're right.
Let me tell you something. My channel took a hit, so I had to learn a lot and
Mm,
be careful who you affiliate with. Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
beloved. Well, thank you so much for joining,
Okay, you're
and I know
welcome.
it's late over there on the East Coast. You have a wonderful
Yeah,
night.
you have to do. You
Okay. Bye. Well, thanks YouTube family for coming in. I appreciate you as always. I hope this was enlightening as far as shedding some light on some things we can do, some solutions we can come up with in regards to addressing mental health. It's very saddening when people die, especially young people. Death is a part of life for us, for older folks, but when somebody's 26 years old, that's just really unfortunate. So, as always, I thank you and I wish you prosperity and good health, mental health, spiritual health, and physical health. God bless.